everybody recognize that these folks are the true heroes.
I know that obviously we were just talking about it, that you've been running, but I know you wanted to share some pictures of during your runs. You've hooked into frontline workers and moments.
Well, I just think it's so interesting. One of the other things that's sort of different during the pandemic, I think, is social media. So much of what we do on social media is just so much about ourselves. But I thought, like on the runs, look at, and you can see the World Trade Center behind him. These are the folks who we waved every day. You still see their faces behind the masks. And, in the beginning, there were no cars in the city. I was just going for the runs and I would see the same faces every day. And I'd ask them, do you mind if I take your photo? Look at UPS, 1-800. But you know what? They never gave up. They always smiled. And I was always like, hey, do you mind if I take your photo? And they never did. And the comments on my Instagram underneath those photos really remind us, Rachel, why you and I do what it is we do. And that is everybody recognize that these folks are the true heroes. They're the ones who really did keep things going. They still are keeping things going. And they never stopped. Do you know what I mean? Everything has sort of stood still in so many ways. But there are our select few, our frontline workers, the doctors, the nurses, and authorities saying we're almost there, but don't give up now. We've all been trying to be so responsible. We've kept a distance, and if we can just hold on a little while longer, just think about those pictures. Yeah, all those workers. Yep, this is for them. If we just hold on a little bit longer. You
went to the studio every single day during this whole pandemic. Is that true?
Well, I have, and I've done so with, this dedicated crew that comes in as well. And, I have a makeshift studio at home just in case there was COVID exposure along the way and we had all the protocols set up. But I thought it was important that if, members of the crew and the team here are coming in to try to put the news on every night, that not only do I come in for them to show my support for that, but also, it's funny, Rachel, you and I have talked about this so many times through the years. It's in my DNA, my reporting DNA. I like to be out there in the field, and it's sort of what's driven me ever since I was, 13 interning at the local TV station. And I recognize that over the last year during this pandemic, that what's been most important is actually the inverse of that, is just showing up here at the news desk every night. And I just thought it was the way to connect with everybody at home, something they could count on, even in the midst of all these really difficult headlines, that I would be here for them too. And so I hope it's made a difference. It's made a difference for me knowing that I'm having that conversation every night, and I can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm sure you can too. And, we've done it, haven't we, with the love and the support of the people at home watching.
And for us, we learned the converse too, how much people loved seeing us in our home. We have very different programming. I mean, I'm cooking and we're chit-chatting with folks and being intimate. And we discovered a new relationship with something we were always scared of, which was crossing the threshold of our home. And you learned to appreciate literally the thing you were most afraid of, being chained to a desk. But it brought you closer. You built intimacy in a new way. And that's the important part, isn't it? That we learned new ways to connect with people that we care about.
It's really true. And, I will never forget, this has been more than a year, as you mentioned, 13 months from your home. And I just want to say, I know that you don't like to make it about yourself, and you never do, but we all know the tragedy that you went through this last year, the burning of the home, and so much loss. And I know that you like to focus on others and what they've been through, but I just want to say the gift that you've given people, the strength that you're still smiling, and that you kept going. And I think that's an inspiration too. And I never want to diminish that. And certainly know that I've been rooting you on. And I just love the fires going behind you and the smiles back on the face. And you just kept going.
We are still at home. And thank you, my friend. And we've suffered much less than so many. And we feel so grateful, as I'm sure you do.